I couldn't be more pleased than to start this new year with the guest that I have available to you today. He is Times Wall Street Journal bestseller. He is reviewed by Publishers Weekly as one of the great communication gurus of our time. Generally speaking, he's out there talking to students at Harvard University. He's been a journalist in his background. He's been in the news media. He certainly understands the spoken word, the power of communication, and he has just put together a career that has helped us all become more effective in the way we approach communication. He's also a fellow Italian, which makes him okay in my book. Mama Michelli would say it's okay to hang out with Carmine Gallo. Carmine, it's so good to see you. Thanks for being here today.
Giuseppe, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Joseph. And as Italians, we use our hands, which on virtual platforms sometimes get a little awkward. But
so I'll tell you what, I'll make sure if whenever you're talking, you'll have that much room to use your hands. Does that work?
Beautiful. Good? Thank you.
Yeah,
now
good.
I've got my space. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You'll know we won't constrain you in any way. I'll talk about this.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that nice introduction. Thank you for that nice introduction. You raised the bar.
Oh, well, that's good. It'll soon lower anytime I ask a question. So you just pick it back up for me. Let's start with this career of yours, right? I mean, you have the academic chops to get this whole thing started, right? You've gone through and got the academic scars needed. And then you went out in the industry and you had the high-paying job. And then your wife says to you, hey, maybe you should write a book. And then the rest of us have gotten to know Carmine Gallo. Can you pick up the story for me?
Sure. Yes, it is good to be connected to a very supportive person. That's for sure. Vanessa, my wife. I started actually in television news. So I spent the first part of my career, 15 years in television news, broadcasting, television anchor, correspondent for business news, CNN, New York, Wall Street, the whole bit. And I had a transformative moment, Joseph, where I realized when I was covering business news in New York that the producers always went to the same people. They went back to the same talking heads every week. They were not the most experienced or maybe even the most expert in a particular field. They knew enough, but they were the best communicators. And so I began to transfer my skills to helping business leaders become more exceptional communicators, to speak in ways that are more compelling and clear and concise and interesting. And I was a journalist. I love writing. I love books, as you can see. In fact, a few of my favorites are from a guy named Joseph Michelli. So you can see those back there.
But nice job.
Not a plant, by the way.
Look, I think that was a big suck up for you, but it works for me. So, don't change your style, Carmine. All right. So let's, if we're going to talk books, hold on.
I can go through this cover to cover.
If we're going to talk books, Let's kind of go back. I know you wrote many before the one I'm going to pop up on the screen, but quite frankly, it's where I first came to know you. And I thought the Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs was like breakthrough for me. I mean, this guy obviously had magic. I mean, it was his ability to, talk about whatever 10,000 songs in your pocket or whatever, the way he would describe his product array. But you were probably the most thoughtful person to kind of dissect and analyze and understand the impact of Steve Jobs. How did you get in your brain that you needed to kind of watch this guy and translate him for the rest of us?
Well, I had been a fan of communication for many years. And communication, great public speakers, in my opinion, aren't just those historical figures that we always go to. They're the business leaders and CEOs and entrepreneurs who surround us every day. And at that time, Steve Jobs, who was still alive, and he gave that 2007 iPhone presentation, which just knocked the socks off of people. And we remember him as being one of the great corporate presenters. And because I've got a background in writing, journalism, storytelling, I can identify what he was doing. We didn't call him a storyteller, but that's what he was doing. He was a great and exceptional corporate business storyteller. So I wanted to try to capture that. And I was connected with people who have worked with Apple, who worked directly side by side with Steve Jobs on his presentations, on his slides. I knew a lot about the subject. And so I decided that this would be a good topic because I think everyone could learn to be a much better, more effective presenter than they are today. And so I wrote Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs. I wrote some other books on Apple and innovation. Then I started focusing on storytelling. You've got this one, Storyteller's Secret, which is just storytelling in business. I wrote another book called Talk Like TED, which is just about the TED Talks and how you can adapt the kind of the TED formula to your own presentations. And then the most recent one is called 5 Stars, which is, thank you.
Hey, you're like surrounded by 5 stars right now. That's 10 stars.
There you go, 5 stars. This is more advanced. This is not a basic public speaking book. That will probably start from Talk Like TED. 5 Stars is for people who are already established or people, middle managers, aspiring leaders. They're comfortable public speaking. They've already been in the workplace for a while, but now we're going to sharpen those skills and turn them up a notch. They're going to go from good or average to exceptional.